Well, hey there. Today I'm going to be installing this 1TB NVMe in one of my servers, replacing the current 256GB cache drive that got full because I've been meaning to do this for quite a while. I've already backed up all the data, so I'm just going to pull out the old one and put the new one in, making sure not to disconnect or smash anything in a slightly crowded case. I'll just let it rebuild itself and should be good. Speaking of rebuilding though, I've been wanting to upgrade the GPU, kind of while I'm at it, but there's always been a slight problem with this case. Maybe I should change that. Once I actually started planning things, I decided we're going to go for a little bit bigger GPU, which will need its own power. I've jumped plenty of PSUs, but with this one, I'm going to do it right, short of buying the real adapter. And that is correct, at least on the green lead. On. Bingo, bango. Excellent. If struggling to push wires into places they shouldn't be, use some pliers. Here we go. Finally got it in there real clean. Secure the load. Before I went to plug it in, I noticed that the ends of the cables I put in were coming out. It looked like they were going to be making contact across several wires, so I ended up pulling them out and snipping them back further. Just a heads up if anyone else attempts this. This is something I've never done, honestly, but I had a coworker who always had a lighter and hot glue on them, so figured I would do that. Oops, wasn't thinking that might not go into it, whatever it's called. I don't know if it's still called a header, but yeah. Still undecided on the overall game plan. I'm gonna take things apart so that I can keep the important bits protected and get a better look at the overall framework, if that's what you call it, like shell work, or I don't know. All I know is there's like a layer. It's almost like a thermos with the like air insulation. And I want to check it out. Whatever route I go with the project, just to get a full-size card in here, I'm going to have to cut a notch out where the PCI Express lanes are. Thought about using a Dremel or some kind of rotary tool, but no reason to overdo it. Make sure things fit, nothing bent weird or anything. Just to smash the GPU into its newly created home. And everything is able to make connections. Okay. Going to at least get this tested as is. Make sure I'm not wasting a bunch of time and effort. Planning to build out a new case from a current case. But for now, it's a matter of getting power to this guy. Not my best one by any means, but it'll be good. Minimum testing. This guy up here. I may like strap that around somewhere. Oh, that's a problem. That is one of the issues that I'm gonna have to figure out. I've been thinking about I can test it as it is right now. You know, that's fine. But there's no way I'm going to run this for long with it only being held by the, where it's plugged into the ports. So even right now, I think it's because this stiff cable is trying to fall forward. So, and it's not even a matter of keeping it lined, like really want to keep pressure off of it. So my first thought is going to be find something that I can fit into here. We'll see. Just for giggles, turn it back on and see if these fans power up. Fans are going. All right, well, that's good for the moment. I'm gonna have to figure out this bracket type situation. And I had an idea for throwing this in one of my other cases. Let's see. I have taken this motherboard and tried to line it up with every case I have, from standard ATX and mini ATX to all the proprietary HP and Dell business machines I have laying around, and nothing even close. On top of that, with these machines, the case is actually the backplate for the CPU. So instead of cutting that out or finding something else to fit, we're taking the whole thing. Not really sure what's connected to what. I'm just drilling out the rivets one by one and bending things to see what moves. For the most part, I could just rip this thing to pieces, but I like the idea of either reusing it or simply being able to kind of put it back together if I ever move on. I really should have worn some gloves for this. I've definitely cut myself with simpler stuff. There for a minute, I thought taking these off from the back was going to make this pop off, and then I had to look at it closer to see it was one piece. It is potentially good or bad. Here we go. This actually fits surprisingly well. That backplate looks like it's pretty much meant to be there. Let's test with a small guy. And decide if I want to modify anything. That works surprisingly in this card. It's not going to be the card I use. I could at least get a screw in something to secure it better than it flopping about. Overall, I'm liking this plan. To keep this in place, I'll simply drill some holes where a regular motherboard would mount to this case, and mount this case to the case. It'll work. Oh yeah, I was wanting to plug in some SATA cables, and I thought it'd be great to use these to keep out of the GPU's way. To find out, it's fucking right now not great, but it won't tip over. Oh, and the it's still anchored in at the bottom too. It actually should be fine. Oh shit, it'll be fine without that. For now, it's just gonna be kind of perfect. I think that's it. Oh, duh. See which side works best. Like it's, yeah, it is. It's missing a bunch. See if it has any grip at all. So maybe I shouldn't be playing around. How long has it been up there? Time to boot. make sure everything's actually gonna work. With the power button being on the inside of the case, I thought that may have been a little bit of a hassle, but I actually lucked out and found a header to plug the case button into. So I've got that going for me.
So things kind of got out of hand. I have the RGB part of that going to here, just going to this fan, but the power side of the fan I just left plugged into where it was plugged, and I just pulled out this. Yeah, I was trying to hide it so I could put the camera. That was the previous plug to the 3 copper leads, and I mean, works fine. Worth doing it, worth doing right. Whatever. It is time to test. Fire extinguisher nearby. I've got 2 power plugs that I have to pull if something went wrong. Alright, hope for no sparks. Brilliant. Don't know what. Okay. I think these fans, if they get stopped, like if something was on it, it'll stay off for a minute and then turn back on.